Chennai. And our most famous one is actor Ajith, who after doing pretty well in F3 is taking the big plunge into F2 at Silverstone in UK this April. He's gone totally professional to prepare for this big race, and we get him talking a lot more about his passion for motorsports.
He's an Asal on and off screen, and now he's all set and ready to race at the FIA Formula 2 European Series. But before he flies off to the UK, we pinned him down here at the Irangattakotai racetrack. Now, Ajith, how important is this championship to you? And we're just a few days away from Formula 2.
Very important for me. Dreamt of racing cars ever since I was a young kid. Looking forward to this championship. Can't think of a better time when motorsports is really happening in India. So it's very important to me.
But you've never really stepped into an Formula 2 car. And how are you going to work around that problem? Or is it a problem in the first place?
It is a steep learning curve. I accept the fact that it is going to be a very tough task ahead. But if you look at F2, I mean, they have revived the F2 championship last year after, I think, a gap of 24 years. So the cars are new. In fact, the latest spec cars, the cars of this year, are 3 seconds faster than the cars that were driven last year. So there's been a huge development in terms of the technical aspects of the car. And I'm happy in a way because we have two drivers from India, Arman Ibrahim and Parthiva Sureshwaran, who are also participating this year.
You first started with Egan, then Villa, and now Asal. How are you getting back to racing? Where did that all start?
I started racing 20 years ago, exactly 20 years ago, at this very same circuit. I started racing motorcycles. I raced for a couple of years, and then films happened. I became an actor, and yes, then after many years, again in 2002, I participated in the Formula Maruti National Championships here. I think I can say I did a respectable job then. I finished 4th in my last event, and thanks to Mr. Akbar Ibrahim, who handled my racing program from then on, I went on to participate in the Formula BMW Asia Championship. The races were held in 5 Asian countries. My best race was at Korea, when I qualified 4th. I finished 6th in that event. But yes, this couldn't have been possible without the help of my very dear friend, Mr. Naren Karthikeyan. I have very high regards for Naren as a race car driver and also as a person. And he has put me on to Mr. Piers Hunisett, who is the principal capital of this company based in UK, which is called Eurasia Motorsport Management.
And how important is a sports manager for a sports person in a competitive field like this?
You need people watching you from the outside to assess your capabilities, to bring about, to make you aware of your shortfalls, and also encourage you, motivate you further to bring out the best in you as a sportsman.
Ajith, do you think your age is going to play against you in Formula 2?
I don't think so, honestly. I wish to participate and participate in single-seater events for as long as I can. And again, I say this in terms of my own abilities and talent. I mean, if you look at Michael Schumacher, he's 43. He's come back to motorsports again. Of course, I mean, I will be driving with drivers who are far younger than I am. But I don't think that should be an issue because I think, personally, if you ask me, I think I'm as fit as I was 15 years ago.
Okay. Now coming back to paddle shifts and brake throttle arrangements, yes. Is that difficult or easy for a racer to get used to, especially for yourself?
I thought it would be very difficult because the British Formula 3 cars that I drove way back in 2004 were the sequential gear shifts, which were, you know, on the right hand side,
Yes.
and we had the clutch, the brake pedal and the throttle. But of course the paddle shift is a totally different ball game, and the clutch is on the steering just below the gear paddle shifts, the levers,
Yes.
and you just have a brake and a throttle, and you can't right foot brake because you have a steering column going right through it. So I was advised by Narain, by Mr. Pierce, and all the people who concerned for me to do a test in a V6 Renault car, Formula car. So I was there in Malaysia last week with E-Rain Racing, and I managed some very respectable lap times in Sepang.
Okay, what are your main goals as an actor right now and as a racer? What are you looking forward to?
As an actor, like every actor, we're always on the lookout for good scripts. As a race car driver, for the moment, I need to dedicate myself completely to motorsports. The last time I participated in the Formula 3, British Formula 3 series, I was acting and racing at the same time. So I was carrying a lot of burden. And honestly, I couldn't push myself. I wasn't 100% on the throttle because of my commitments. So this time, my whole approach towards motorsports is very professional. And I haven't signed or taken on anything on a project, a firm, until October. That's till I'm done with the F2 season.
At the back of your mind, what are you thinking to promote the sport, encourage youngsters to get into the sport? Tell me, what is it?
If I can use my celebrity profile to get my fans to follow motorsports, by doing so, I'm sure they will also be, they will get aware, or they will get to know more about Narain Karthikeyan and Karun Chandok and all the other race car drivers, Arman, get to know more about them, more about the sport. Who would have thought 5 years ago that India will one day have its own F1 team? Today, thanks to Mr. Vijay Mallya, we have Force India, Team Force India. And there are many more Ayrton Sennas and Schumachers that India will produce.
Right here?
Yes, and they will all start here because this is where Narain started his career. This is where Karun Chandok started his racing career. Arman Ibrahim. I started my racing career here at this very circuit.
Well, you're truly a multifaceted person. Thank you so much for joining us, Ajith.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure talking to you.
My pleasure.